Hi folks, this is Dr. Rob CYWES. I am the Carb Addiction Doc, and it's a Sunday morning. I'm here with James. We're recording these videos. They're free. In other words, I don't charge you for them. I do some ads of stuff that I use in here that does pay me a little bit of money. Google pays me a bit of money, but essentially we're upside down on the cost of this. And so why do I do this? First of all, it's for the information. It's to support my practice, but the most compelling reason is this reason here in front of me. And this is such a cool, feel-good story. And I love it when people send me this. I got an email a little bit ago from a guy called Matthew. And he says, "Hi, Dr. CYWES. On May the 3rd of this year, the day before my 54th birthday, I weighed 318 pounds. Now, and he's 6 foot tall. Now, I'm 6 foot tall. 24 years ago, I crested over 300 pounds. So this resonates tremendously with me, except he's 54. I was younger. So 54th birthday, weighed 318, 6 foot tall, and got test results telling me I had full-blown diabetes. Now, he's obesogenic, so he's crossed over toward diabetes. My cholesterol numbers were all bad, which is not so bad for me. I had severe fatty liver disease, which is an issue, high insulin levels, and basically every blood test showed I was heading in the wrong direction and very unhealthy in the decade where bad things begin to happen, those heart attacks, those strokes, those other bad things, including diabetes. Now, Matthew goes on to say, I've always been overweight, but have never had such bad numbers. So his biology has failed to protect him from his eating pattern. Bariatric surgery was recommended, as well as a lifetime of vitamins, metformin, and statins. So that's what he was looking at. Doctors trying to fix the consequences of his problem without actually addressing the problem. On my 54th birthday, May the 4th, I had a massive dinner. I crushed my favorite supersized pizza. I drank a lot of beer, and the next day I woke up depressed and angry at myself and started researching what all of this meant. I found your videos on YouTube, the ones I'm doing right now, amongst many others, and started watching and getting a fire hydrant full of advice. I love that. Your videos, however, seem to make the most common sense to me, and the blunt way you explain things rang true. One of the key concepts you explained that made me understand the issue with carbohydrates was that they were an addictive substance rather than a nutrient, and that our ability to process them far outstripped our body's evolutionary ability to adapt to that. It just seemed to make things click, but I knew I had a lot of hard work to do. I joined a program that put me on Matthew is not a patient of mine. He's just following me online. If you want to be a patient, that's fine, 561-517-0642. But I joined a program that put me on a low carbohydrate diet for 12 weeks. But I also adapted the diet to include some of your recommended actions, including fasting, 16-8 with time between meals. So intermittent fasting, that's Jason Fung. Very low carbohydrate intake, no more than 50 grams total carbohydrates a day. And if we don't count the vegetables, it's even less than that. Increased fat intake to replace the reduction of carbohydrates. Very important. So you lower carbohydrates, you increase fat. And try to reduce my adrenaline levels through de-stressing and giving up and reducing a few things that potentially spiked my adrenaline, my stress levels. I also mostly quit drinking alcohol, with only a glass of wine or a beer here and there, very rarely. I really think that the key that has allowed all this work has been giving up processed carbohydrates, including alcohol, processed sugar, and fruit. I used to eat pizza until I was stuffed, and then 2 hours later would crave another slice, even though I was still full. That's addiction, and I recognized it. How I'm eating now, I am very rarely hungry because of the high fat, And when I am, and it's not time to eat, I am better doing something to manage the emotional need until that feeling goes away. Or I have some strategies like drinking a bridge drink to help it pass. Eating this way is also much easier at restaurants, except I have to chase the fat. I eat protein and some leafy vegetables, leafy greens, cheese, and fat, which is easier to ask for, identify, and eat. Here's the cool part. In less than 5 months, following your advice and making serious lifestyle changes, led by realizing and understanding that carbohydrates and my relationship with them was really messing me up, I have dropped 80 pounds and pushed my A1C numbers from 7.3 to 5.2 off medication. Below is a graph of a few of my numbers. I just want to thank you for helping me with a mental game and providing good advice that I could follow. I have yo-yoed my entire life. And I know losing weight is the easy part when your head is in the game, and that the real struggle is to maintain the behaviors that keep the weight off. The habits, the behaviors, the rituals that are now becoming part of my every life. But for now, thank you. Best wishes, Matthew. Hi, folks. We're in October, and October is the beginning of the ugliest stretch of the year, certainly in this country. And what I see in my patients, I see Halloween, I see Thanksgiving, we see the whole Christmas period, we see New Year. It gets to be very, very ugly toward the end of the year. And I've got a 4-year-old at home, and we're going to go out trick-or-treating. This year, I've got to be Luigi, because he's going to be Mario, if you know what I mean. But one of the temptations out there is our neighbors are throwing candy at everybody. And the cool thing is with my son, they're going to give him Matchbox cars. They're going to give him little things to play with rather than candy. But I know the temptation is enormous for me. And one of the things I load myself up with so that as a fat guy, and mentally fat carb addict, I don't have the temptation. I take with me my ketone IQ. And when everybody else is unwrapping their chocolates on the road, and there are a couple of places where they do Jello shots, and it's my neighborhood. Instead of doing that, I'll do a ketone IQ. And it just helps me to get through this. I'm not going to do candy. I'm not going to do Jello shots on the road while my son is gathering all his stuff. And I can still really have a good time with my neighbors, be very friendly with them, but I don't need to eat the crap that occurs on Halloween evening, as long as I protect myself with my handy dandy box of ketone IQ. That's what I'll be doing this Halloween. Try it. That's why we do this, folks. Matthew bumped his head. He had to realize he was in bad shape, but he also found and made a commitment to rolling up his sleeves and killing his best friend, which was eating and drinking and that lifestyle, in order that he could become best friends with himself again. And yes, this is ongoing. Matthew is now 55. He's been doing this for a year, tremendous results. And assuming he's going to die at 100, he's still got another 45 years of doing this, but he's well on the way. And our job is not only to make you healthier, but to sustain that pattern until you die of natural causes when you're very old. Isn't that the way we used to die? Oh, they died of natural causes. They woke up and they were dead. That's how I want to go out. This is the way to do it. This is why James and I record these videos. It's because of people like this and the message we put out. Costs us nothing. Our job is to help you to help yourself. I am the Carb Addiction Doc. If you like this message, support us. Yes, we've got a 501c3. It's a charitable organization that runs these videos. I pay most of the money into it. But you can leave some money at Patreon. You can leave some money at our PayPal account. You'll see them in the show notes. And help to keep the message going, because we're fighting big pharma, big food industry, who has a lot of money. Our small voice has helped Matthew. Let's see if we can help you too.